Debt Avalanche versus Debt Snowball. In this video, we're going to go through what are they, which one do I personally prefer, and once you select the one that works best for you, how to actually implement it. Hey, my name is Nick, and on this channel we talk about the tactics and tips to topics that I wish that we had learned in school. In this case, how to pay down debt. As always, there's timestamps listed below so that you could quickly jump to the parts that matter to you most, as well as a link to a blog version of this entire video so that you can jump around and have a written version if you need that as well. If you find anything helpful in this video, please feel free to consider throwing us a like or subscribe so that you can stay up to date on any upcoming video that I launch. When I was putting together my first budget, putting together all of the different loans that I had to consider was actually kind of confusing. There was anywhere between 6 to 8 different loans that I had to take out throughout the 4 years I was in college, where they had different balances, principals, interest rates, all these other things that I had to consider. But deep down, I had to figure out what's my plan of attack of actually paying them all down. So the first thing, what is the debt avalanche and what is the debt snowball? The debt avalanche is a method that allows you to basically pay back the least amount of interest over the duration of all of your loans. So here's how you do it. You take all of the loans. In this case, let's grab a scenario. There's 4 loans with each a different interest rate, and we're going to prioritize them based off of highest interest rate all the way down to the lowest interest rate. When I'm actually going through and paying off these loans, I'm going to pay the minimum payment on all of them, and then I'm going to apply any additional payments to the highest interest rate in order to start paying down that one faster than the rest of them. Again, overall, this means that it's going to actually save me more interest over time. But here's the downside of it. If one of those with a high interest rate also has a high outstanding balance, it's going to take a little bit longer to actually get rid of that loan overall. So it's going to be a little bit of a delayed satisfaction of like, hey, I paid off one loan, just because you're focusing on the one that has the highest interest rate and less about which one can you actually pay off fastest. Now, this is different than the debt snowball approach. The debt snowball approach allows you to have these quicker wins to build some momentum over time as you're paying them off. So in the debt snowball approach, you're going to organize all of your different loans based off the lowest balance to the highest balance. Now, when you're actually going to pay for them, what you're going to do is pay the minimum again for each of those loans. And when you apply any additional payments to the loans, you're going to target the one with the lowest outstanding balance first. Now, this one isn't going to save you as much in terms of interest over time, but what it's going to do is allow you to quickly start to check off, pay off loan 1, pay off loan 2, and etc. down. This one's good, especially when it takes months and months to pay one off, because you kind of feel like you're going to get a win every 6 months, every 2 months, every whatever set amount of months that you're going to get is going to come a little bit faster, which helps you build momentum or that snowball effect over time as you're paying through all of your debts. Now, which one did I actually choose for my 6 to 8 loans that I took out for my student loans? I chose the snowball effect, or the snowball method. I needed that motivation over time to keep me going, especially when I was grinding through everything. And yes, it was at the expense of paying a little bit more interest, but me knowing myself, I knew I needed that little motivation to kind of push me forward in order to keep things going faster. I chose the snowball method. Again, choose one that's going to work best for you. There are additional calculators that you can find online that actually measures what the difference in terms of financial impact or cost opportunity is. However, there's one thing that I found more important to me is which is going to keep me motivated and aligned, keeping this going month after month, even if it does cost me a little bit more in the long run. Hey, we'll get right back to the video in a quick second. I just want to let you know that any of the guides, tools, resumes that you see in this video or any of my other videos, I've put together in what I call the Trailblazers Foundation Kit, and it's free to anyone in my community. You can access it and have it emailed directly to you at nicholasayala.com/kit. All right, that's it. Back to the video. So now let's jump into the personal debt template that I personally use and is available down free in the link below to see how this actually plays out in practice. All right, so here we are back in the personal budget template. When you first click the link, it's going to take you to the home page. This is step 1 where you input your income. We already kind of went through this in a past video. I can link that up in the corner above, but let's dive directly into the debt tab. So in this tab here, this is where you're going to list out all of your different loans. So here I have a couple of examples, like a credit card loan, a car loan, but what you want to start doing is basically put student loan 1, student loan 2, loan, 2, student loan 3, loan type. This is so that you can actually keep organized on what is what. So we'll do student loans here, And then now you're going to put in the loan amounts and where the current balance pieces are. I usually change the current balances every month when I'm going through this, just so I kind of know where I'm starting, where I'm going. It's kind of nice to see. So I'll just populate each of these here. So student one, I think, let's say is $5,000. Student loans, say $3,200. And then student loan three, let's say it's, I don't know, $1,200. Cool. Current balance, let's say it's the same thing because we haven't started paying anything back yet. And then now when we're looking at minimum payments, let's try to figure out what the minimum payment for each of these are. So let's say it's 150, let's say it's 100, and let's say this one is $75. And now when we're looking at interest rates, percent, let's do 5.5%. And let's say this one's weird. This is 5.6%. Okay, so we have all these listed in here, and we want to know what's the priority that is going to come out depending on which method we choose. Fortunately, if you actually scroll down in this template, it'll show you debt avalanche first, and then it's going to show you your debt snowball second. And so in debt avalanche, again, remember this is prioritizing the highest interest rate first and paying any additional repayments that's above the minimum payments to the one that's in the order here. So for, in this case, we have your student loan one because the interest rate is at 7%, which is higher than any of the other loans that we populated in here, even though this one isn't the highest. Remember, we had like some samples in here. There's a car loan in here for 21K. There's a credit card in here for 9,800. But this one's saying the loan for 5,000 with an outstanding balance of 5,000. Any additional payments should be applied here in order to follow debt avalanche model. But let's say you wanted to go with the debt snowball model. So we'll scroll down a little bit more. Here's the debt snowball model. Now, remember, student loan one was the first one that was suggested when using the debt avalanche method. However, in the debt snowball method, the student loan three is the one that's being suggested to be paid off first. Again, remember, the debt snowball method prioritizes the lowest current outstanding balance first, not the one with the highest interest rate. And so in this case, you could see that it's prioritizing student loan three, then student loan two, then student loan one, and etc. for each of the loans. So in practice, how do you actually do this? You'll go through, fill out your budget. You'll identify how much money you have left over after you do your needs, your wants, and then you have your like general savings and expenses. That extra amount of money you're going to apply to any of these loans, depending on which model that you want to go for, after you pay all the minimum payments. Paying the minimum payments first is important just to make sure you're staying in good standing with each of those institutions that you're paying the debt to, as well as maintaining your credit score. Again, Snowball worked for me. That was just my own personal preference because I needed to see those mini wins along the way, but it is at the expense of maybe paying a little bit more in interest in the long. All right, and that's about it. So we went through what is the difference between the debt snowball and debt avalanche method, which one I personally choose, debt snowball, and how you can actually put it into practice using a sample template that I have. In the next video, now that we've gone through how to select a budgeting template, how to actually populate a template, and identify all your different debts, we're going to go through one habit that I put into place that only takes around an hour a month that helps me stay on track month after setting all this up and, for the most part, having everything on autopilot. And I'll see you in the next one.